It's old-time hockey, the way you're supposed to play. You throw a little lumber if a guy gets in your way. You play like Gordie Howe or Eddie fucking Shore. We can't all be Gretzky, some news or Bobby Orr's. Hey!
After the success of the 5-time Allen Cup champion Thunder Bay Twins, the Colonial Hockey League took interest in expanding to the northwestern Ontario city in 1991. The Colonial Hockey League introduced the Thunder Bay Thunderhawks, spelling the end of the 21-year Twins franchise that stepped aside for the new minor pro hockey team. During their first season, the Hawks would win the Colonial Cup championship, and in their second year, they would lose in the semifinals. In 1993, the team was rebranded the Thunder Bay Senators to reflect the team's affiliation with the National Hockey League's Ottawa Senators, and more closely, the AHL's Prince Edward Island Senators. The Thunder Bay Senators were a legendary team in Thunder Bay. Even only existing for 3 years, they won 2 league championships and lost in the championship finals in their third season. Notable players from the Thunder Bay Senators who went on to have NHL careers include Ron Talikoski, who would play for the New York Rangers, Trent McCleary, who would go on to play for the Ottawa Senators, the Boston Bruins, and the Montreal Canadiens. Goaltenders Frederick Kasivi, who would go on to play for the Atlanta Thrashers and the Washington Capitals, and Jean-Francois Labbé, who would go on to play for the New York Rangers and the Columbus Blue Jackets. And most famously from the Thunder Bay Thunderhawks, Senators, and Thundercats, Mad Mel Engelstad, who, by the way, is a friend of the channel, would go on to have a legendary minor pro career and play 2 games for the Washington Capitals. Just in the 6 years that he would play in the Colonial Cup and United Hockey League, he would play 311 games, scoring 20 goals, getting 60 assists, and racking up 1,846 minutes in penalties. And just knowing that at one point he donned an Ottawa Senators jersey, trying to get onto their roster, cements him as one of my greatest hockey heroes of all time. And it was always a good time to go to the Fort William Gardens and watch the Hawks, the Sens, the Cats, whatever they were called that year, play some good old-fashioned hockey. And just to have the affiliation back then with an NHL team was something that this town never would have dreamed of, even if it was just a second-tier minor pro team like a modern-day ECHL team would be. It was still pretty cool to have our little town on the NHL's radar. Could Thunder Bay sustain an AHL team in this day and age? No, definitely not. We are not the town for that. We're not big enough. We don't have the money for it. But definitely, if the NHL was looking to expand in the ECHL, we would definitely fit the mold of being that second-tier team to an NHL franchise like the Minnesota Wild or the Winnipeg Jets, or even the Toronto Maple Leafs or the Ottawa Senators again. It would definitely be interesting to have some minor pro affiliation in our city.
It's old-time hockey.